Welcome back. Yeah, the last video cut a little bit short on us. Okay, let's get straight back into it. So I just double checked to make sure that measurement was 5, and it is. And we'll move on from there now. So we've got these two boxes drawn in the middle of our screens. The next thing that we need to do is figure out what's going on now with the next part of our drawing. So the next one that we need to look at for that side is going to be drawing a box that's 15 by 13.5. Let's get the dimension in between those two is I've put in 3. You may need to double check these measurements for your going by your own drawings. We'll press OK. So 3 millimeters in between, and it's 15 by 13.5. So back into USB into this drawing. Again, you can flick through these as well by clicking on Control Tab. So you can click between all of your pages that you've got open, that you've just drawn. Okay, so that can be quite handy by go Control and Tab at the same time. Now, anyway, back into what we're doing. So we need another rectangle, and it's going to be in line with this one. So notice what I've done. I've dragged my mouse down, and see when you see this broken line appear, that will keep it in line with the corner of the rectangle to the left. So I will click here and just drag up a rectangle. I know that it's going to be 13.5 there. I'm going to press tab on my keyboard and type in 15, press enter, and I know that the dimension between these two parts here is about 3 millimeters, and press enter. Now, I've done that. I'll go to 3D model, I'll click on extrude, and I'm going to type in number 3, as in it's going to be 3 millimeters thick for the material. Now, great. That looks good. Now, the first problem that we've got that we need to resolve is going to be how we actually enclose this. How we've got two pieces of, or we're going to have a piece of wood coming along this way, or acrylic, or whatever material you make it out of. It's coming from this side, one coming from this side, at the top and at the bottom, and how they're actually going to join together. So we can do things like finger joints and all that good stuff, and I'll see if I can find one of those that have got finger joints to explain how those finger joints work on this page. So in essence we are looking at, so those are like finger joints there. It allows one piece of material's got one section cut out to allow the other one to fall into place. Okay, so we can do things like that, or we can glue one just flat onto the top of the other, or we don't even need that many tabs. We could just have one here and maybe one at the far side. Quite handy. So it's up to you really, it's your drawing, you can design it as whatever way you like it. Okay, but in the meantime, before we really get into the nitty gritty of all of that, let's just get the basic dimensions correct for what we need to do. So I've done a measurement to allow 3 millimeters to come in on either side here, okay? I'm going to look at the side view now of this drawing. Alright, so looking in at the side here this way. I am going to use the dimension tool, and now usually if I click on a line it'll give me the dimension of the whole line. However, there looks to be like there's a break here. So there's a break in that line, and it's most likely because of, well, over on this side it's because of the center of the circle. Right? But there's a way around that. We can move our mouse over to here, click on the green ball on that side, click on the green ball on that side, and it tells us that it's 85. So 85 is the dimension there. Right, that's good to know. Now we need 85 plus 3 millimeters here. So 3 millimeters for the material on that side, 3 millimeters for the material on that side. Now anyone that has a keen or an analytic brain will be able to tell me now, why are you adding 3 millimeters? So you've already added 3 on the side here and you're thinking about butting it up to it. Well, not necessarily. If we actually decide to cut a little tab into that bit of material, we will need to have 3 millimeters of an overhang here. Okay, and I'm hoping that that makes sense. I'm basically talking about the finger joints or the little tabs that I showed you when I brought in the web browser. Okay, so I'm adding 3mm to 85 for this side, and I'm also adding another 3mm to 85 for this side. So 6 plus the 85 in total. That's where I'm going with it. Alright, so so the first thing we do is we save that. That drawing there is correct. We go new. Metric, standard create. Into a new part. We're going to go and save this part first of all. And we're going to give it a name. So we're going to go, this is going to be the HDMI side, isn't it? HDMI side of Enclosure. Press save. Sketch. 2-point center rectangle. Clicking on the other side. I'm going to draw out a rectangle that is 85 plus 6. Press enter. And I didn't type in the height. So the height needs to be, I believe it was 17. So I believe the height in the first place was 17. We added on 1 for the solder on the bottom, and we added on another 3 plus another 3. So let's do that with this one as well. So we type in here 17 plus 1 plus 3 plus 3. Press enter. Brings us up to 24. And again, we are going to use these little rectangles and drop them in here. So I'm going to just drop a rectangle in there, roughly around about that size there. Okay, and I am going to get my little drawing open on my other screen. Or sorry, I can show you on this one here. That's what we're using now to base everything off. So the height is 2.5, and it's going to be up 3 plus the 1 for the solder plus the 1 for the PCB, which brings us to 5. So 5 up from the base, and the distance from there in from the side is 5.92. Wow. Let's just double check that. It's coming up as 5.92 in my drawing. You can correct that on your drawing, but I'm going to go with it at this stage to 6. Right, so 6. Bring it in from the side, 6mm. Right, so click on the edge, we click on the rectangle. We're going to go 6 plus the thickness of the material, which is 3. Press enter. The depth up from the base, we said that was going to be 5. Press enter. Now the height of that actual part is 2.5, and the width of it is 7. Okay, so into here, the dimension tool, click on the height, 2.5, enter, width is 7. Okay, into the next part. So this one is going to be a distance of 11.58 away. Okay. Now this is correct actually, now that I'm thinking it, because we've centered everything in our original drawing. So 11.58 away from this part here, or that side. So 2-point rectangle, in line with the base corner, drawing it up here somewhere. First dimension I'm going to do is 11.58. And then I'm going to worry about what size that actual rectangle is. So it's 6.5 in height, 15 wide. dimension, 6.5 in height, and 15 millimeters wide. Great. Into the next drawing. And this one is spaced 10.5 away, with the width, width of 7. So 10.5 by 7. Another rectangle, and on the horizontal. So a distance of 10.5 in there, and a height of 7. Now the width of that will confirm. The width was 7, and the height 6.6, I believe, isn't it? Going by memory. Yes. So double click on the 7, that should be 6. Double click on there, and that should be 7. And we go to tick that, so finish that sketch. We're happy with that now. We go to 3D model, click on extrude, extrude that drawing, and that needs to be 3. We press OK, and there's one of the sides done. Now we press save. We're ready to move on to the next side. Brilliant.